Welcome to Mr. C's Helpful Hints for the Beginning Trumpeter. Our first topic is the assembly of the trumpet. The trumpet is a simple instrument to put together, and all you have to do is drop the mouthpiece into the receiving end of the lead pipe, give it a twist, and voila, you're set to play. A common problem with beginning trumpet players are stuck mouthpieces, usually caused by the students tapping on the end of the mouthpiece or accidentally dropping the trumpet on the floor. If this happens, parents, please do not take a pair of pliers or vice grips to try to force the mouthpiece out. The mouthpiece is made of a very soft material and you can gouge it very easily. Also, if it's severely stuck, you can end up damaging the support braces located along the lead pipe of the trumpet. Just pack the trumpet up and send it into their music teacher. They usually have a mouthpiece removal tool, or they'll send it off to their instrumental repairman. For proper hand position while playing, we are first going to start with the left hand. The left hand should be placed around the valve casings with the ring finger inserted into the third valve slide if the trumpet is so equipped. When the trumpet is equipped with the first valve trigger, the thumb should rest with the fleshy part of the thumb on the trigger. With the right hand, the thumb should be placed between the first and second valve casing under the mouthpiece tube with the tips of the first three fingers resting on the valves in a relaxed manner. The hand should be curved as though picking up a pencil. The little finger can be inserted into the ring, although this is not advisable because it leads to using the ring as a means of exerting pressure on the embouchure. Our next helpful hint is on the topic of the oiling of the valves. I've included 3 different methods because it has been my experience that not all trumpet players have brand new trumpets with removable parts. The first method, you turn the trumpet upside down and place a couple of drops of oil in the openings of the bottom valve caps. This is the least desirable method because once the trumpet is placed upright, the valve oil can run on the student's clothing. Depress the valves quickly to aid the valve oil to run down the casing. The second method involves the removal of each valve slide. This method only works if each slide is free and in good working order. Depress the first valve. This aids in the slide coming off. We then take our valve oil and place a couple of drops in each opening. A good rule of thumb with valve oil is a little dab will do ya. We then take our first valve slide, making sure that the slide is straight up and down with the opening, and there it goes. We now go to the second valve slide. We depress the second valve, turn the trumpet on its side, and you will find a short slide, usually with a little nub on its side. Remove it. Once again, we take our valve oil. A little dab will do ya. A couple of drops in each opening. And now we place the second valve slide in its proper position. Now the first and second valves have been oiled. The tricky valve to be oiled with this method is the third valve because the third valve slide is held in position usually with a set screw that can be found at the bottom of the trumpet. In a counterclockwise motion, loosen the screw just enough so the slide can slide past the screw. We depress the third valve and remove the third valve slide. Once again, we take our valve oil, a couple of drops down each opening. We should also try to remember that sometimes it takes a little bit of persuasion to get these slides on. It always helps to make sure that the slide is straight up and down with each opening, and with a little persistence, the slide will go back on. We also must remember to retighten the set screw to the slide so it won't drop off on the floor while we're playing. Now we've oiled all 3 valves, they're working freely, and we're ready to play. The most proper method is method number 3, which can be tricky for beginning trumpet players because it involves the partial removal of each valve. Unscrew the top valve cap and lift the valve up about halfway. We then place a little bit of oil on that part of the valve. Once again, retighten the valve cap. Now we'll do the same procedure with the second valve. Loosen the valve cap, pull the valve up about halfway. Usually you can see some Swiss cheese holes on that part of the valve. Place a little oil over it. Put the valve back down into its opening and retighten the valve cap. And now we'll do the same procedure once again with the third valve. Loosen the valve cap, take the valve halfway up, place a little oil on that section of the valve, and put the valve back down in its opening. Retighten the valve cap. Now before we start to play, a good procedure is to check the very top valve stems and turn them enough until you hear a click. That usually means the valve is in its proper position. Depending on the trumpet and the student, you'll finally decide which method works best for you. My last helpful hint deals with the topic of sticky valves. Most young trumpet players have trouble with the valves not coming back up properly after being depressed. If your valves have just been recently oiled and your trumpet is in good working order, most of the time the problem lies in the improper placement of the fingers while playing. Never play flat-fingered, and always try to keep a little bit of an arch to your fingers while playing. This usually takes care of any problems with sticky valves. I hope these hints have been helpful to you young trumpeters out there, and that you enjoy your trumpet and the music you make for many years to come. Thank you.